at the same time that I'm recording the session myself. With that, we're gonna begin with Coach, your thoughts on today's victory.
Well, look, I thought the first half was sensational. I don't think we could have achieved an awful lot more than we did in that first period. 3 goals and a magnificent hat-trick from Hani. Managed the game well, limited them to very little, and to be honest, came in the locker room at half-time in a very, very strong position. The second period, as everyone might have expected, took on a slightly different complexion, and they certainly got on top, looked a lot brighter, and of course, getting that goal gave them a little bit of life. But I've got to say, there was some terrific defending, there was some very determined displays, there was also some very good football, predominantly in that first period. And we did, I thought, a wonderful and professional job of keeping them at bay, given the quality that they have and the ability that they've shown in this stadium and at home. It's not an easy place. And in the end, it's a fabulous victory.
Thank you, Coach. We're going to kick off the questions with Tim Sullivan.
First of all, Gary, I think CJ is going to be upset that you said Hani had a hat trick since CJ had the first one. But what
oh, wow. Yeah, no, it will be.
What did you see on each of those early goals, and how much momentum did it give you to kind of prevent the Rapids from getting a foothold in the game?
Yeah, I mean, it all came so thick and fast, didn't it? To get ourselves in front was, a real, positive step, of course. I always felt if we could get our noses just nudged in front, then we'd make life quite difficult for Colorado. But I didn't truly expect, obviously, to take the sort of lead that we did. I mean, I thought was it his second goal that he took on the central defender and smashed it into the roof of the net was a terrific individual bit of quality. And I couldn't quite see from the angle I was at with his header. It looked like it skipped off the surface and took the goalkeeper a little bit by surprise. But I have to be honest, I was a little bit taken aback when it hit the back of the net. So, look, I'm just very, very pleased at the end of a long, difficult stretch of games that we can bang 3 points on the board and, beat one of our probably closest rivals for those playoff positions.
Ben Wright.
Yeah, Gary. In the last couple of weeks, we've seen a lot more consistent results, and that's kind of coincided with Hani and CJ finding form and really finding the back of the net. Just how important have they been, and how important do you think they're going to be going forward?
Look, we saw what they were capable of last year. Hani starting to hit the sort of form that we saw in such a terrific year that we had last year. And those two, when they're working together and things are clicking, look, I've got to say, as good as any front line in the league. I mean, Hani's capable of creating something out of nothing. CJ's abilities and industry make him a constant threat. I mean, his stats and his data when we get it in after the match is phenomenal. He's a tremendous team player, but also has found this wonderful connection with Hani, and they've been incredibly important to where we're going. We've seen it in the past, and I'm sure they will be instrumental in the future as to what we achieve.
Tim Sullivan.
Hey, Gary, second game in a row, first league game that we've seen Elliot. Unfortunately, he was rarely tested in the one time I think he was. They did get a goal, but what did you see out of him? And are you expecting that, with a couple of weeks off here, Joe will be rested up and kind of back mentally where you expect him to be for regular season play?
Yeah, look, there were a couple of things that I hoped we could get out of this. The first one, of course, was to get Elliot back in the group and to see how he would adapt to some action in our team, in his home. He's his period away has been extremely worthwhile, and it's given him a terrific opportunity to just try and smooth out some rough edges. And he's shown that he is moving in a very positive direction. The second one was to give Joe a bit of time to regroup physically and mentally, and I think it's worked out perfectly. Now, what we find when things come together as you might hope is that we've got competition and good competition. And, you know, there's some big decisions to be made as we work towards the home game against San Jose. But what I know now is I've got a senior goalkeeper who's been, you know, an absolute rock for the team for 2.5 years. And we've now got, you know, a very talented and potentially, you know, the future of the team. And what would be wonderful to see is that Elliot's progression continues, and at the right time, you know, he can fill the shoes that Joe's been wearing for so long. I don't think that's going to happen straight away, though. It's you know, it's an evolution that normally takes place over a little bit of time. But I'm absolutely delighted for Elliot. 2 victories under his belt. I'm really pleased that Joe's been able to have a little bit of recovery time. He's played every minute of every game. We're in a good spot between the sticks now.
Ben, go ahead. Ben, are you still there?
Yeah, sorry, having some connection issues. Can you hear me?
It's breaking up a little. But if you want to give it a try, if not, you can text me the question if anything, and then we can have it answered later.
Okay, I'll try. Gary, obviously your first time playing back in Colorado, the second time beating them with Nashville. Just what was that like getting back and getting the win there in a place that you're?
Well, I got most of that. Yeah, of course, I'm really, really happy to win the game. Am I any happier than any other away victory? I don't think so. For me, it's been more about coming back to a city and a stadium and a franchise that really gave me my first opportunity as a head coach. And, you know, I was able to hopefully, you know, return that faith with some silverware. And I had a wonderful time. The family had a wonderful time. You know, there's very little animosity now, you know, that I have for the organisation. Was I disappointed at the time? You can bet your life I was. But a lot of water's gone under the bridge. I'm very, very happy where I am. And it's strange how circumstances unfold. Very, very pleased with the 3 points. Very pleased with the performance at the end of a tough run. And it's the first time we scored 3 goals this season, which, of course, is also a step in the right direction.
Team, take us home.
Hey, Gary, kind of about that offensive explosion of sorts. I think a year ago, Hani might have had a more legitimate chance to win the MVP trophy if he'd had a little bit more buzz early in the year. Do you feel like he's getting going right now, and he's going to have a kind of similar trajectory where he's, other than starting with a bit of the buzz, really building into a strong stretch run here?
Yeah, I think I can't remember what his stats are over the last 4 or 5 games, but I think he's 6 goals and 2 or 3 assists in the last 5 games, which is you know, putting him back into that groove that we saw last year. You know, we've already spoken about the connection. Having Hani firing on all cylinders is really, you know, the tipping point for the group. We've shown an awful lot of qualities throughout this team. We've got some very, very good players in the group. But when you can have a creator or two, as we've got in CJ and Hani, and as we've seen today, and we've seen the type of form they're getting into and the stride they're getting into, it bodes well for the glut of home games we have, and of course the opportunity to compete for those postseason games again. Look, last thing I want to say is, this Colorado group I don't think have been beaten here for 24 games. This is a tough place to come and earn points, let alone win games. I have an awful lot of respect for Robin and the work that he's done here. They are a very, very good side, and they will be in and around those playoff spots. So to win here today, for the guys to have performed in the manner they did at the end of this run, Hanny's display, CJ's display, Walker battled through a very difficult collision early on in the game. And there have been some wonderful midfield displays as well. And I'm probably missing some players out. Dave Romney and Daniel Lovitz have played a tremendous amount of minutes over the last 4 games and put in sterling displays. It's been a wonderful team effort, and I couldn't be happier.
Thank you, Coach. That will conclude today's availability with him. We'll be joined next by Elliot Panicco.
Are good now.
Hi, Elliot. That was like Murphy's Law. I stopped the recording and you joined. Welcome back, everybody. Elliot, thank you for taking the time. Your thoughts on today's game, your debut in Major League Soccer. How did you feel?
Yeah, I felt great. It was a great game, collective team effort, and I couldn't have asked for a better game to play in. Everybody was firing all cylinders, connecting, and scoring 3 goals in the first half. Always is a great thing for a team as a whole, so I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. We're going to open the floor for questions. Team, go ahead.
Yeah, Elliot, obviously you've spent most of the last couple of years elsewhere. What did you gain over your time with Austin and earlier this year with Indy, and that you were able to take to the MLS level to make your debut tonight?
Yeah, those experiences with those clubs were great. I learned a lot about playing in professional games when points are on the line and you have other professionals that you're going up against. Playing at those clubs and getting those games and playing week in and week out really has prepared me to play here in the MLS and be ready to compete at a higher level.
Team, continue.
Obviously, you weren't tested a whole lot tonight. What sort of frustration is it that basically the first time that you get tested is an absolutely killer free kick?
Yeah, it was a great free kick. And that's just how the game goes sometimes. You can go for long spells without touching the ball with your hands or your feet. And that's just a testament to how well everybody played the first half and the game plan that we had. So it was a good free kick. I wish I could have saved it. But, you go for long spells, and that's just a part of the game.
Team going.
A couple minutes ago, Gary mentioned that after the international break, there's going to be a chance for you to really compete with Joe. While it obviously does seem like Joe is the favorite to remain the full-time starter here, what is your kind of intention going into that potential battle to go and kind of prove yourself and potentially take a winning spot in MLS?
Yeah, I think for me, things are just going to stay the same. I'm going to keep working hard as I always have over the past 2.5 years. I'm going to keep pushing Joe. I'm going to keep pushing my teammates and try and improve myself and be the best that I can be. So, whether it's Joe or it's myself, we're both trying to play, obviously, but be the best goalkeepers that we are and help the team achieve their goals.
Thank you, Elliot. That will conclude today's media availability. Safe travels home, and we'll see you June 11th for our next game. Enjoy the break, everybody.
Thank you.